tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I don't know this.
You don't know this song?
Me either.
I'm glad.
Oh my god, this sounds so old.
That's
Are you dating yourself?
Josh, our producer, is shaking his head no, like you can't believe it.
When did this song come out?
This was the song that was played at the end of the episode.
Okay.
This is Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party.
Okay.
Which is a very awesome LA type Halloween song that you just made me feel so damn old. I
have never heard it in my life, guys.
I believe it came out in the 80s. I believe it's an 80s song.
I was one.
So you were,
I was one or two,
By the end of the
depending.
80s.
I wasn't.
well, we
existing.
digress
He
here.
was a
Guys,
sperm
welcome to the
in some-
AfterBuzz show for Scorpion. It's the Scorpion after show on
made it.
AfterBuzz. This is episode 1. Not episode. This is season 1. Remember
Struggling.
what's episode 1? This is season 1, episode 6. I'm still rattled by the fact that you just like totally ruined my perceptions of that song.
I'm so
It's so
sorry.
old now. I feel old. Anyway, Oingo Boingo. That was the song at the end of the show.
Sorry.
Dead Man's Party. Look it up. My
a
name
good
is
song.
My name is Nando Velasquez. We were totally off the rails today. I could tell. This is Nando Velasquez, and next to me is
Hi, everybody. This is Monse Bolanos.
yes, and next to
Hey
her.
guys, I'm Marina Santos.
And I'm Ryland Adams.
Yes. Oh, awesome. So we're doing True Colors. That's the name of this episode, and this was kind of the Halloween episode. It was little references to Halloween here and there.
Yeah.
And this was also the one we talked about earlier this season that it was going to be kind of like a crossover with NCIS Los Angeles. That we were going to see Hetty, played by Linda Hunt. So I thought that was really cool seeing her. I was hoping she'd be, well, she was in like 3 scenes, but I was
Right.
almost hoping she'd be a little more active.
Well, we all made predictions last week what we thought she would be, and we didn't even come close.
Yes. I don't think any of us came close.
Yeah. I didn't even predict about her.
But I loved seeing her with these people. It was really cool the way she got to bond with them. So I thought that was really, really interesting. I hope maybe we get to see more of her. She seems to have bonded with Walter at the end of this episode. Like they have little common interests. So maybe we'll get to see a little bit more of her here and there when the group goes rogue like they did in this episode.
If she has time. If she's not busy on her other show.
If she's not too busy.
No big deal.
Yeah, if she's not too
I'll
busy.
cover for her.
Nice. So anyway, let's break this episode down. So we see this. This is one of those kinds of episodes where we see the future first. We see some point either the ending or
Which I
like
love.
toward the middle, and we see a bunch of different things. We see Pappy with a bunch of something on her, and we see Toby all messed up too. We see Sylvester dressed with a T-shirt that says "Super Fun Guy." That reminded me a lot of the Vegas episode because he
Right.
had that
Yeah.
really goofy Vegas T-shirt.
It's becoming a thing. He just he's the one.
The new
token.
dorky T-shirt of the week.
We should have all worn that T-shirt.
Yes. Oh my
Epic
gosh.
fail on the entire
we should get matching
team.
T-shirts.
We should just do Sylvester T-shirts.
We should
know-
all pick a character and wear the face of the character on a shirt.
I'm just gonna get a white T-shirt and bring a Sharpie and start like making my own Sylvester shirt.
There you go. That's good. If you can draw, that'd be great. So, I don't know if you could draw. I'm not trying to say if you could draw it. I can't draw.
I could
It
write
would just-
Super Fun Night.
It would just
Yeah,
be.
I could write SFN.
N.
Oh wow, you thought
I
very
was like,
hard
what?
for that
You
one.
guys, I'm tired.
She's
It's been-
tired.
It's SFG. What's
Yeah,
no.
super fun guy.
Oh yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
you said Super Fun Night.
Oh, I'm
and you
thinking of
also-
Brother Wilson show.
Nice.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
wow.
Welcome to
good
the
job.
show.
When we say we're not as smart as the people on the show,
We mean
apparently
it.
we really mean it. Anyway, so the scene that we see, it's kind of, we've seen this scene more or less before, just not at the beginning of an episode, where the Team Scorpion gets dressed down by, not even by Gallo, but by another official. And apparently they mentioned that they've broken 24 state and federal laws, and they've just made a mess out of everything, and they were going for a psych evaluation. So pretty much this episode splits up between the psych eval and the actual case, what we get to see, what happens in the last 24 hours or so. So I don't have the name of the actress because my Wi-Fi sucks. Your 6 is better than mine, but
I'm on it.
Somebody's jealous.
The tech girl.
I'm jealous. I want a 6.
I'm on it.
So Monse's the tech girl, but the doctor that's played in in this episode, like I love her, and it sucks to say I love her and then say I don't know her name, but she was in 24. She was in a lot of stuff.
Right.
So she's been a ton of stuff. She's a great actress, and it was really apparent too to see this. It's really fun to see the gang reacting to her very differently, very defiant. I love Toby. Toby's trying to get on her good side. We've seen that before, trying to mirror them and try and compliment them. And actually, he's like, I'm a doctor too.
Yeah, I love how he's always trying to turn it back to her. Well, what do you think?
Right. Well, because he's like, I love how they're all like saying that how their qualifications are
Better
just as
than
much
hers.
or above hers.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's actually talk about you.
Well, that's what's so great about them. Any luck or?
I'm looking.
Okay, no, sorry. I thought
Pending.
Sorry. Anyway, so I just love the interaction between them. Each of them have something a little bit different. She's just very,
You can
butch.
say whatever you like as long as it doesn't piss me off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah, and Toby just trying to get on her, trying to relate to her and say he's her equal. Sylvester is the interesting one too. He's just nervous.
Yeah.
He's very nervous
is
about
what
I don't
everything.
understand how IMDb has
IMDb.
has a prisoner and has the passerby, but doesn't have the doctor. How do you?
Wait, what was that one there?
No, it's not her.
No, not that. Before that.
That's
No, before that. Oh no.
It's got to be in the episode guide.
Okay,
Right?
I'm sure someone on YouTube will post the name of the
Yeah.
actress.
Let
I
us
just
know.
can't. I just can't remember for the life of me
and
right
I don't
now.
want to spend the rest of the.
No,
time
and I
on
don't
it.
want you to
Thanks, IMDb.
think. No, well, that's okay. Someone please let us know, and I'll feel like an idiot when I see the name. I'll be like,
Right.
I knew that name. Anyway, so let's talk about this case. So the case, the case is the group is getting hired again to do security, and we know what happened in Vegas. We knew that it didn't turn out well when they were hired to do security. So whenever they're hired to actually ramp up security, it's never that cut. That's
Right.
never that easy. But anyway, so they're supposed to go and do security for an art exhibit. There's this big painting worth $10 million that they're watching.
100 million.
100 million.
100 million. Okay,
Just a slight difference.
10 million I can afford.
Big.
100 million.
We can afford.
I don't know.
Not as much.
Yeah.
So much.
Not so much.
Stretching.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, before the case even happens, we notice some interactions between Paige and Walter that I think are kind of cute. Just simple little things. That I think it happens to everybody. Like Paige says hi to Walter when he walks in, and Walter just orders her around. And she's like,
It's like, good morning.
"Good morning." Yeah,
Hello.
hello. So they have a little banter, and then we see that Walter doesn't like art, and we see that Walter doesn't like Halloween.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect episode for Walter, apparently. And Paige is, of course, trying to coach him into being more polite.
More human.
Yeah.
Because he just never has feelings. But by the end of the episode, he always comes around. Like, he
Yeah.
always shows something that, like,
Something
he might
redeeming.
have a heart one
Like
day.
he's slightly turning a new leaf. Slightly.
Except that in the next episode he starts from zero again.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Well, that's the purpose of a procedural. Nothing
Right.
ever really
I
fully.
know.
Things slightly change, and then they go back to normal.
Yeah.
Right.
So, absolutely. But anyway, so for this case, Paige convinces Walter to be on his best behavior, to actually compliment people, to try and be more human. So Walter calls it the experiment. And we actually hear him talk about that in the psych eval as well. He was just doing an experiment. So we see him working on it with another guest star, Raphael
Sabarge.
Sabarge.
Raphael
Thank you.
Sabarge.
Jiminy Cricket from Once Upon a Time. That's how I know
And
him.
also one of the detectives in
Murder
the
in the First.
Yeah,
Tay
so-
Diggs.
So he's busy.
Come back in our show.
Yeah, come back, Raphael.
We've
Have
had
you right
him
here.
Come on.
He's been an AfterBuzz guest before.
He
So,
has.
yeah. Maybe
And he's
for this-
great.
He's great.
He's wonderful.
But anyway, so we see he's the director, and he is obviously doesn't really see. Walter tries to play nice with him, and he's just like, who's this weird guy? So Walter, of course, looks at Paige, is like, see, this is what happens when I try to be nice. So his best attempt to be nice. But one thing we do see Walter do, he's inspecting a painting. At first, he's trying to look normal. I thought it was really funny. We see Walter looking at a painting like a very cliche art exhibit type of guy, like just facing forward, looking at it, and then everyone else goes around him, and they're all looking. So it's Team Scorpion, who they're just like, we hear them talking about it in the van. They just don't get art.
Right.
Art doesn't make sense.
Which, like, is fine. I think a lot of people don't.
I actually
you know?
think that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
I don't get art.
$100 million for a painting, get out of here.
You're
No.
tripping.
Yeah, seriously.
No.
The things that we could do it.
But you're not looking at art.
Live the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps.
It's never work a day.
But you're not looking at art like the way they are. Like they're looking at it even hypercritically, like all facts and figures. Like they it's almost like the Da Vinci Code. Like they see too much into the painting to really understand it.
Right.
They know the thread count. They know the brush strokes. They know everything. It doesn't make sense to them. They don't know the art. Well, I hate to say it, artistry, but the emotions behind it.
Right.
Because they lack the EQ to understand how this makes them, how it makes them feel.
Right.
Except for when Toby and Walter are reading Paige when she sees the painting, and they say she knew it was a fake because of the way she looked at it.
I know.
It didn't make her feel the things that she thought she would
Yeah.
feel in the presence of this $100
What was it?
million
Rancid?
painting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What did she say? Rancid. They said she looked at it like it was a rancid piece. I didn't write it down,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
something rancid. Anyway, so Walter ends up going really, really close, and he cuts the whole painting.
She's like
I
goes
loved
right
it.
up there.
Because he went up and he looked at it really closely.
Yeah.
Like super.
Then and we
'Cause
were
they're like, "He's
all of
close."
us. Yeah, we're like, he's a little too close. They even show the security kind of like look at him.
Yeah.
Then it looks like he wants to touch it. I thought he was just gonna touch it, and then all of a sudden he slices it open. And I was like, what is he?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
And then, of course, commercial break.
Ben, you actually called it. You
Yeah.
called it from the previews last week, which I was very surprised that you had picked that up because I forgot.
Marina
I'll take out the
pays.
prop.
She pays attention.
Do a little happy dance.
She's been sitting on this all week, just waiting to say
just
she's
waiting,
right.
I
Waiting
know.
to say she's right.
No, I
Always
just
waiting.
have a
was-
photographic memory,
She
guys.
was
Come
Googling
on.
the previews for this episode before she got here.
She's our Sylvester. She has a photographic memory,
No.
apparently.
Obviously.
Obviously.
clean freak?
No, it was very just random luck.
Excellent.
Own it. Just
Yes.
own it, Marina.
I own it.
got it,
It
girl.
literally just popped in my head. I was like, I remember singing him saying something. Oh, it's a fake. So it's just
Okay.
Awesome.
connected.
Got it.
She's
Don't
just-
expect it again, though.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Won't expect it again. Anyway, we figured out it's a fake. What I love about this, of course, is everybody seems to, like everyone from Team Scorpion has a different way of looking at it.
And
as
they
a
all
fake.
knew.
They all
They're
knew.
on the same page. They're like,
like
yeah.
like don't you see what we see? I think it was just brilliant. Like everyone's just like it's just so obvious. And
Right.
then when the agent comes in saying we just heard this is a fake, Walter's like, thank you for repeating what I said 63 minutes ago.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's when Paige was like, Walter. And he
And then
says, that's a wonderful windbreaker.
Yeah. Excellent line. Excellent line. That's a great windbreaker.
That's a great
Which we all know no windbreaker is great. We all know that.
No.
No, windbreakers are not very cute.
Okay.
I have a very cute one from
Do
North
you?
Face.
Is it
Wear
for
it
like
next week.
fitness cute though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but
Not
see,
like
she wasn't
FBI
wearing. Yeah,
But like Venice Beach cute or
Yeah.
Santa Monica cute.
Yeah, like Santa Monica cute.
yeah, that was a big jacket. It was just like no, Walter, no.
Well, anyway, so I'm going to go back and forth. Well, I shouldn't, but let me go back and forth with the psychiatrist, because I think one thing that's really important about this time when Walter is talking to the psychiatrist in between what we're seeing with the case is, I guess the psychiatrist is also talking about Walter not getting art. I don't know who
Right.
Art is. And Walter says, I have no emotion. They talk about EQ a lot in this.
Yeah.
High IQ, low EQ. And a question that the doctor actually gives Walter is, how can you protect something if you don't care about it? Which I thought was a very,
And
very
he said
interesting
he cares
question.
about his paycheck.
He cares about his paycheck. He cares about getting the job done. Yeah, exactly. I forgot about that part. So really, really interesting talking about that in the EQ. And then we find out, we don't get to learn much about Sylvester, but this episode I feel like we did a little bit just about
Yeah.
how high his EQ is and what it means for him to be so hypersensitive to everything.
Right.
And I know a little bit about EQ, actually. It's really interesting to see, and I was noticing it in the scene when he's checking out the bookcase and saying how it's going to fall over and
Oh,
she
yes.
should move her chair.
He's
So-
like really uncomfortable about it too. He's like, it's fine if you just move a couple inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so hyper aware of everything. And one thing about EQ is that EQ is also based a lot on memories. Like your memories of your past, you're always reliving them because you're so emotional. Every time you see
really?
something that it kind of triggers not that that's a high EQ thing, but that's an overly high EQ when you're so emotional, but you're not aware as to why you're that emotional, and he just justifies everything. So I love that, and I hope we get to see more of that with him.
Yeah.
End he's usually the highlight of the episode. He's really funny in this episode.
He's the comic relief.
Yeah.
He definitely is. They end up meeting up with Hetty, and they figure out from their typical reasoning that the painting was a fake. It was made by a machine, and the only place it could have been done, based on the people who downloaded the schematics from the museum, was somebody from Galactic Toys, which Sylvester loves.
Yeah.
And it was so awesome to see Sylvester like a little boy.
He was so
Geeking
excited.
out.
Oh my God. It was so awesome.
It was the only time he actually asked to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? He's always like, I don't want to go. I'll stay back. I'll stay here. He was like, can we go? Can
Yeah.
I go in?
He's always the van. Yeah, he's always in the van. Just
Yeah.
like in there chilling.
He's scared. He's afraid of germs and all this stuff. And here
Didn't
he
even think
is.
twice.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, when they drive to Galactic Toys, first of all, that building is it's the same building actually where they shoot the exteriors for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I actually shot, not for that show, but I shot something there, another project, and that's how I recognized it. But I know that
Oh,
building.
that's
It's really cool. But if you really pay attention to that area, it's not really in a clean part of town.
Right.
You know, it's kind of downtown, but you see the bridge later on in the chase and everything. It's kind of
Like the
scuzzy.
Arts District or something.
Yeah, but Sylvester's like, let me out. I want to go. He's like so
Yeah.
psyched. He doesn't care about anything. He just wants to see his idols.
First he gets turned down. He's like, you're staying inside. I don't need geniuses making, like, to arrest one dude.
Right.
Yeah.
But the minute he could get in there, he
yeah.
was in there.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. I was
Well-
like, you go.
Gallo lets the guy, he lets the guy escape. The guy escapes.
Right.
And we see the gang, even though Gallo says, everyone stay here, we see everyone take a different approach to catching this guy. So, Walter goes out to chase him right away, which is usually something Happy would do. Happy would be the one usually
You're
chase
right.
someone on
Yeah.
foot, but Happy's got the van, so Happy's going to drive.
Yeah.
And then Sylvester's like, I'm going to go get Gallo, and just runs into
And
the
I
building.
love that Paige, she was like, just call him, it's faster. And she's like, he's like, I don't hear you.
Yeah.
So we see Sylvester run in. We see Walter try and tackle this guy down. He gets a bloody. We notice he makes note of the fact that he gets blood on his hand. We see it later
Yeah.
on in the gala. He has his hand bandaged up. I don't know if there's a major reason to see that other than the fact that he got hurt. Happy and Toby are just driving like crazy.
Yeah.
And apparently they ran into chickens, which we never saw.
Right.
We just see a bunch of feathers at the end of it. Gallo ends up stopping the guy after Walter tries to a couple of times and just
He's
isn't
like
able
dying. He's like,
It's funny too when he's like, FBI. And then he falls over the
Oh,
fence.
God.
Like he's so
Yeah.
not smooth.
I'm a federal agent, and then jumped
Yeah.
over.
I love that bit. I love that scene when he just like tries to fake it and he just can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
And then after the guy gets caught, we see Sylvester. I'm surprised he actually ran that fast and he caught up to everybody.
You're right. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, he went into that place. He managed to somehow get an extra large T-shirt because he's a big guy. I'm sure he had to get he had to find a special T-shirt to fit him. Sorry, just saying, and managed to catch up within like a minute.
might
a
have
half
been
a
a
minute.
little unrealistic.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here, but it's
Little
okay.
bit.
TV magic.
Yeah.
Maybe there are a couple like shortcuts. He
Yeah.
knows his way.
And again, the little giddy, he's like, I tried to catch up as fast as I could. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's like so obvious.
Yeah.
So
it's so
obvious.
funny.
Super fun guy.
Oh,
sure.
yeah. So the gang goes rogue. And of course, Gallo's not too happy about it. Is not too happy about all of them doing that. I think, and the van, Happy hits the van too. I think the van got like a big dent on
It
one
hit
of the sides.
a car.
Yeah, it hit a car in
Yeah.
there too.
Maybe more
So
than one.
yeah, absolutely. So so they end up getting this guy, and they almost ruin all their opportunities. But Toby goes in there and processes the guy really, really well and convinces him to reveal the information. And we find out that there's a guy that was behind this suspect from Galactic Toys downloading the schematics and making the fake, and that was Jacques Lebeau. Right? Did I say that right? Yeah, Jacques
Yeah.
Lebeau. And some rich guy, he's going to have a gala that night. Just around the time of Halloween, so the gang they're going to go undercover, even though Gallo again says, "You guys stay behind."
Yeah.
So they decide to go. They go back to which I'm really glad. At that point, I'm like, "Are we going to see Hetty again?" So I'm really glad we see
Right.
Hetty, and she kind of turned into Q, with the James Bond, like providing
Yeah.
them little
Giving
tech and costumes and everything. So I love seeing that. We got to see Paige all decked up.
Yeah, she looked good.
Yeah, she did look good.
There was a moment there with Walter.
Yeah.
Always
and
a moment
Paige.
with Walter
Yeah,
and Paige.
always.
They had
A moment.
several moments, but that one was.
Well, this
good.
episode, we'll get into it, but this
Things
episode
are
in particular.
heating up.
But so we see Paige dressed up. We see Walter dressed in a tux. We see Happy and Toby
Waiters.
And then Sylvester's all like, "Where's my outfit? Where's my outfit?" And Hetty's like, "Well, you're gonna be in the van. You don't need an outfit." And we see him with, of course, he's got his
And
T-shirt
she
on.
says, "You can wear your stupid shirt," and he's like, "Yes." Like she said, "Your stupid shirt," and he said, "Yes."
He doesn't care that she calls it stupid.
Yeah, he was loving it.
He loves it.
He loved it.
You can call it stupid all you want. He's wearing that shirt to death. He
lives for that
He'll probably
shirt.
be wearing it in the next episode.
He's maybe wearing the
Oh my
next
gosh,
episode.
I would love that though.
That'd be
That'd be
funny.
so funny.
I'm predicting
good.
that
If
it
that's his
happens.
uniform, that would be awesome if that's his uniform. So we see the gang go to the gala that LeBeau is holding. They don't have to dress in costumes because the rich don't, honor Halloween. They don't think, it's worth it wearing costumes apparently. But Paige is obviously talking to Walter about trying to fit in. And we see that Walter's like, I got this. Don't worry about it. And then Walter notices that he's got to act a certain way toward his date,
Right.
which is Paige. So this is where we start to see a lot. This is the most that we've seen the two really, really interact with each other in a way that goes like, makes you raise your eyebrows and go,
Yeah.
something's happening.
Yeah.
So Walter's got to be nice. He's got to open the car door.
Which was funny that he
Yeah.
didn't think that was something he had to do, and then
Yeah.
he sees another dude do it, and he's like, maybe I should open the door, and then it's all awkward. He doesn't know
How
where to
to
go
open
after
it?
he
Yeah.
opens it.
It's like a first date.
Yeah.
But she still finds it so cute that
She
he's
does.
trying, which I love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could tell that she appreciates it. Like
He's-
she sees it, and you can see her reaction to it. So
Yeah.
good job,
Absolutely.
Catherine McPhee.
It's
Love her.
really cute, and I love her too. And it's really cute. We see them go in together, and it's apparent like it's awkward like a first date, and they find out that in order to try and get the information, as far as LeBeau's phone, like who he's called and everything, they need to clone the phone. So they need to have this device about 5 feet away from. This is a popular thing. This just happened on Homeland 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They,
wow.
they had not the same exact scenario where someone had to dance next to somebody else, but you had to be within 5 feet of a guy to clone his phone. So so this is a device. I guess it's.
I wonder if that's actually the norm or the rule or how it works in real life.
I'm guessing.
Something because I don't
Probably.
think
Right.
multiple TV shows will be doing this exactly same thing
Where
if
they're
they
just-
hadn't looked into it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not tech that you can just go to Radio Shack and buy. Like I want to clone
Oh,
someone's
no,
phone.
of course not.
But apparently it's got to
Just
be
cash.
something real.
Yeah.
It's got to be something real,
Definitely.
which is kind of a little scary when you think about it. You know,
Right.
if someone had that and they can clone your phone.
It'd be dangerous.
Guys, I don't trust you.
I don't trust any. Yeah. The world would be. Stuff would get real.
I bet you somebody knows how to clone a phone. Like technology is just ridiculous. We're so behind what technology can actually do
Yeah.
that if we were to really sit here,
And talk about
and
it.
talk about it, it's probably somebody's listening. We're probably being recorded right
Someone's
now
cloned your
by
sex.
the CIA
Facebook
because of my
message-
phone.
Facebook Messenger can be listening to us right now.
Yeah, well, I don't
according
have
to
Okay,
that.
Facebook Messenger is ruining life, but that's
Yeah.
another story.
Yeah, I don't even have that because ain't
That's
nobody
why
got
you
that.
couldn't look up that actress. Someone cloned your phone to make it so you couldn't look her up
Yeah.
on that phone. That might be happening.
Now we know.
Now we know. So
The more you know.
Well, I mean, for the purpose of this makes a very interesting scene because in order for Walter to get the phone cloned, he has to be within 5 feet away from LeBeau. But LeBeau's in the middle of a dance floor, and everybody 5 feet away from him is also dancing. Which means, and Paige has to be the one to bring it up, and Paige has to be the one to bring him out and practically lead him into a dance.
He's like, I don't dance.
I don't dance. Yeah. So, like most people who are studying school and really, really smart, they don't have the social. I mean, a lot of people don't know how to dance, I guess, too.
Yeah.
So it's not such an abnormal thing to say I don't dance, but
Yeah.
in his case, especially so.
Right.
So we get to see a nice little romantic little thing where she's teaching him how to dance, and it's really funny. We Sylvester's listening in on the comms, and Paige is like, "No, put your hand lower. Put your hand lower.
Lower.
Put your hand lower." And then it gets to a certain point, and I guess his head just keeps getting lower and lower, and he keeps moving forward in his
Yeah.
seat,
He's excited.
He's like, what? Oh.
and he knocks himself
Face plant.
face plant onto the desk and over. So really funny. So they have to be dancing for 3 minutes. And at the end of the 3 minutes,
Or close to the dude for 3 minutes.
yeah, they have to be. Well, that's what I mean. They have to be to clone the phone. They have to be close to him for 3 minutes. So they have to be dancing for 3
Right.
minutes as long as he's on that dance floor. And at the end of the 3 minutes, we see a shot of Sylvester with tissue up his nose, so we know he got a nosebleed. And he says it failed. So of course at that time, I'm thinking it's Sylvester that messed up because he fell onto the desk.
Me too.
So we're all thinking now, we're like,
Well,
okay.
she called it.
Again, I called it.
You know
Yeah.
what?
You killed it this
She
episode
called it.
with the predictions within the show.
I
Yeah.
did. I'm very proud of myself.
Very,
guys.
very
You're
good.
like, there's no way, and we kind of all just brush it off. We were like, stop
Well,
with your
because
stop
they
with
had
your
that moment,
theories.
right? So I was like, oh, he wants to keep dancing.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
When you said it, I was like, no. Because for some reason, I was like, no, Sylvester just messed up. I didn't even think that you meant that Walter purposely messed up. I didn't even think of that.
Or like, and I was thinking, would Walter do that?
Right.
Because you don't know how
Right.
long you can be next to this guy to keep this process
Well,
moving.
not only that, he doesn't want to dance. So even though he might be turned on a little bit, even though he might like this, it's
Obviously
like
a lot.
you're asking him to dance for another 3 minutes. For some guys,
That's
like
That's torture.
Some
That's
guys,
torture.
like their girlfriends, will be like, "Come on, honey, let's go dance." You're like,
Yeah,
"I
but
don't want
that's
to
their
dance."
girlfriend already. Like it was the first time he had a connection with her.
No, but that's my point. Some guys who
Right.
are actually invested with their girlfriends, like they'll go out for a night and their girlfriends are like, "Come on, honey, let's go dance," and they're like, "Oh God, I don't want to dance," and they'll dance, but they'll hate it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they'll want to, even though they know they're going to get some at the end of the night, they're like, "Okay, I did my dance. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm
That's-
going back to the bar."
That's why Paige and Walter are going to be true lovers because she makes him enjoy dancing. And who can do that?
Ooh.
You know, like
True.
if someone can make you enjoy something you hate, that's going to be true love.
But
I
he
don't
st-
care.
But he
who you
still
are.
made it look like it was a chore, though. He still did. But he apparently
He liked
said
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He liked it.
And then toward the end of the 3 minutes, which was even funnier, Gallo cuts in.
No.
Not Gallo.
Not Gallo. Why I say I do this once an episode. I say a different name.
LeBeau.
there's
I
a lot
forget.
of them.
There's a
LeBeau.
lot.
There
of them.
is.
Yeah.
LeBeau. Thank you for correcting me.
Yes.
Because then someone's going to go like, "Doesn't he watch the show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm
And
just
then we'd
thinking."
be like, no.
No.
We don't even know him.
I'm thinking.
We
the
actually don't know what the show's about.
Yeah.
Thanks. Anyway, LeBeau cuts in, and grabs Paige, and we see Walter go to the side. And at first, it kind of looks like, okay, cool, I'm not dancing
Yeah.
anymore, but I have to figure out what to do with this. So he puts it
That
down
was-
the back of her dress, really smooth.
Risky business, though. I thought that because
He was going to feel it.
she had placed Walter's hand in that exact place,
Yeah.
so then I
Yeah.
was like, this is
Especially-
going bad.
Especially because it's a back cow neck.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know cow necks.
We,
but
we know cow necks.
Yeah.
Guys, no cow
it's
necks.
when
Every
it's like,
Saturday
it's when
night.
it's like hanging
Yeah.
like this, but it's
Yeah.
loose, right?
Yeah, it's not like a tight
Yeah, it's not a
thing.
tight fit, so it would totally just.
I thought it was going to
slip.
fall down to
Yeah.
the crack.
I was thinking it would fall down the crack too.
The crack. I was like,
I
say
thought
crack
he'd find it
Or
and then game
it
over.
would stay in the crack. I don't know, one or the other.
yeah.
Maybe if you catch on the crack, that'd be good.
Maybe she clenched. I don't know. I was thinking.
Go Paige.
and held it.
and
Good
held
job,
it.
Paige.
I was thinking the same thing too. He pretty much had his hand. We saw the close up of him putting his hand in that
On
same
it.
spot on it. But I would think if I was in a dance with somebody and I was touching the small of their back and there was something there, I wouldn't be like, that must be a surveillance device. You know, I would probably think, okay, something's up, but I'm just going to
Something's
ignore
weird.
it. I'm going
Right.
to ignore it.
Yeah.
So
I
don't-
mean, that's true.
yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah, he was-
maybe it's a kinky underwear that has something in there.
It's the lock to her chastity belt, maybe.
It's for later, babe.
It's for later. But anyway, we see Walter getting really jealous, which is awesome.
So great. He's
Yeah.
like, how many seconds?
The best.
How many seconds? How much time is left?
How much now?
He's like, you keep asking, stop.
Yeah. But it's so great because he's just staring at them.
And what's funny to me is that Sylvester doesn't catch on, right?
Right.
He was like, "Why do you keep asking me that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "It's so obvious."
You just heard him say
Yeah.
it. Heard her say, lower, lower, hello. Yeah. Come on, Sylvester, look alive.
Sylvester doesn't have eyes, unfortunately, so
No,
he can't
because he's
see
like
it.
a kid. You know,
And
like a kid doesn't think that way. A
Yeah.
kid never thinks like malicious
Yeah.
things.
he thinks Paige is one of the guys.
yeah.
So he
That's
thinks that's
true.
probably what Walter thinks of her as
Probably.
too. So yeah, but it's really cool seeing him seething on the sideline, seeing LeBeau dancing with her, and getting upset. And then right when it was cloned, he's like pulls her away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't complain. She didn't even like say, "Walter, that's kind of rude." She was like, "Okay."
She knows her man.
She knows her man, apparently, yeah. So while all that is happening, we see Toby and Happy down in the wine cellar. What we didn't mention earlier was that when they were doing some research on LeBeau, they noticed they had power to 2 different areas, and Happy said the other area, there was like climate controlled. Happy said it was a wine cellar, and Toby said no. It was where he hides the art.
It's also a perfect temperature for art.
Exactly. He had all this analysis. And even Walter said, I would go with Happy on this one. So we see this scene of them breaking into the wine cellar. And Toby, again, really comical. And Toby being... And they're bantering... Their banter this week was also really...
It was great.
Right.
Yeah.
Things are heating up in
They
Scorpion, and I like it.
Toby's practically saying, I really like you. I think
Yeah.
he's practically saying that to her
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now. So that's ballsy.
She knows it. She
Yeah.
knows
She works it.
Yeah.
She can't jump in too quick.
She's
Right.
she's making him work for it.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be bad though when 4 of the people are on the show are dating. It's gonna be like
Yeah. What about Sylvester?
I don't
Sylvester and
think-
Ralph.
So, oh my God, that's so weird.
Not like
Sylvester
that, guys.
Gallo.
I'm talking like
I
you
know.
know.
I know.
Like, they're gonna be partners. Like if they were to play a game of Pictionary.
Yeah, well, or chess, like they did in the pilot.
yeah.
So they're not just the awkward
Exactly.
fifth wheel.
Exactly.
There's a full six.
I was kidding. I know. I mean, Gallo pretty much proved this episode he can hang with the kids with the super fun guy thing the whole time. So,
Oh, yeah.
totally. But anyway, so we see this comical scene with Toby trying to figure out where the secret room is in the cellar, and of course spilling what must be thousands of dollars worth of wine because he's in a rich guy's mansion
after
in their
Happy,
wine cellar.
After Happy's like nothing's back there.
Yeah.
And he's like, just maybe.
Wait, how did it go again?
You guys gotta remember.
Yeah. Rewind if you want to see that again.
Yeah.
Typical, typical like guy not asking for directions. No, I know I'm right. I know we're in the right place. We're gonna figure it out. And then of course he's filled with wine all over him. So and then of course people hear the commotion. They start coming down. Happy and Toby have to escape. We don't see it, but apparently I don't know why we didn't see the chicken feathers.
Yeah.
And then we don't see this, but apparently Happy runs into a cake in the
cake.
kitchen.
Yeah.
We actually rewind. We had to rewind and be like, "What happened?
Yeah.
What? It's all over her."
Because there was one scene where she was clean, and then it cut to a scene where she had all that white stuff from the beginning of the episode.
I wonder if they edited though that line specifically for that, right? Because then if it would just look like a edit mistake.
Well, I was thinking it was probably production value because they maybe tried it once, and then if they didn't
Yeah.
get it on that take, how
They
many
didn't-
how many life-size cakes
Right.
can you have that you run through?
oh, that sounds
That's
awesome.
true.
But I
would go
wish
like
they
that.
would have given it to us. So like Scorpion.
Yeah, there
people-
must have been something wrong with production, or they cut it for time. That's the only explanation, and they just figured it'd be easier to have a voiceover.
They should have
to just
left
add
that in.
add an ADR with her saying the cake.
If there's footage of that, I need CBS to like release it on YouTube.
I
or
would
something.
totally-
How about we just
say-
film Marina
Yeah.
doing
I would
it?
totally be I would pay to be that body double that did the scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Can you imagine your Instagram?
Oh my god, I would run. I showed her. I was like, I would run like this towards the cake.
We should we should just reenact it and have Marina do it.
We're done. We're on it. We're on it.
I'll be
I
coming
will
next
do
to
it
you.
if you guys bring a cake.
I don't just casually have a life-size cake for you to run through.
If
I know.
anyone has a life-size cake they're
That
willing
you
to
can
donate for
donate.
this cause, we will tape it and we will put it on the show. How about that?
I would
Literally.
live for that.
Hashtag truth.
True.
Hashtag truth. So
And CBS Scorpion.
So we pretty much see more or less at this point, we see everyone in the same state of disarray more or less that we saw them in the beginning. So we know we're really close to the end of at least where we saw them at the beginning of the episode. So they find out that the painting's not there. They figure they spooked LeBeau, so they LeBeau. Is it LeBeau? Yeah, it's
LeBeau.
LeBeau. They spook LeBeau, so they end up trying to figure out where he is, and they figure out that Raphael.
Because they got his phone.
Yeah,
That
Paulson.
whole scene.
Paulson.
Yeah, he's playing Paulson. So the art guy happens to be the one behind all this. They figure out. So
That's
they have
clever.
him. Yeah. So they pretty much start following him. I last week they had a really good close up of the Chevy, and this week they started talking about Walter wanted to take Paige's car because Paige's car had Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So it's obvious that Chevy is paying money to be a sponsor in this show because they're just
Yeah.
those little funny little things
I
with
do.
Chevy.
Their product placement is great though. Like
Yeah.
the shots with the Chevys are always good, and it's
Yeah.
always like incorporated well.
Yeah.
And it's not overpowering, right? So I feel like
Yeah, I
some
agree.
TV shows and movies, you're like, oh, come on. Like, it's so obvious. Like,
I mean, it's obvious.
It's obvious in the sense
but
that
it's
we're
not
recognizing
it's not too flashy, though.
Yeah.
But then there was also a Mercedes in today's
Yeah.
episode. So are they
Well-
just allowed to do that if they have a deal with
Well,
Chevy?
here's the funny thing. So I thought that was really interesting because it kind of obviously watching this show, if you just were very open to what kind of car you want, if you're into Chevys or not,
Right.
You'd say, oh wow, that's a cool feature. You can get Wi-Fi. Your
You're
car has
right.
Wi-Fi, but by that same token, they stop Paulson's car, and Paulson's car is, that's why I was like, and that's a Mercedes. So aren't you saying that Mercedes, it's easy to stop a Mercedes with a computer?
And then they blow it up?
And then they blew it up and made it sound like, oop, that that could have been our fault. I'm like, if I was Mercedes, I would not want them promoting my car like that.
Well, I guess they don't really have a choice if they
It's a luxury brand. It's a luxury brand. It might not be as popular as Lexus or some of the other ones, but it's a luxury brand.
So
Yeah, it's popular.
Yeah, I would not want to see my car like and see a scene on a TV show where it sees like, oh, some guys with an internet connection can stop my car.
Just the Chevy one.
Just a Chevy one. But anyway, so Paulson's car gets stopped and they pull him out. And then all of a sudden, when you think they've saved the day, the car explodes, and that's pretty much that's pretty much brings us to the beginning of the episode where we saw all of them lined up, and we assume that the painting has been ruined. We kind of see it burning up in the trunk of the car.
And I love Walter's just like, that might have been our fault.
Yeah, that might have been our fault. And we see them taking the blame, and this is where the whole psyche val goes. So, and this was kind of like a very Ocean's 11 kind of like moment in the sense that you think the caper's done. Oh, they didn't get away with it, and then all of a sudden they show like they're talking.
Dun, dun, dun.
And while the doctor is pretty much telling, first of all, she calls him out on the dancing, which was awesome. She says, "You reset that, didn't you? You reset the cloning
Which
device."
is great. She sees he has a heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she sees he has a heart, and wait, I wrote it down, but yeah, he ends up caring.
Yeah, she says at the end that he's created a family, a safe haven, and a place for people to grow.
That's
and
what she. Yeah, that's
feel
what she
their full
tells.
potential.
That's what she tells Gallo. Yeah, that's what she tells Gallo pretty much. That he really does have a heart, and thus he has his true colors. But it's just interesting. She calls him out on having eyes for Paige. Then Hetty also calls him out when we see her again.
Oh, yeah.
Because they end up delivering the painting. We didn't really talk about the history of the painting, but the whole purpose, and it was a little confusing if you don't pay attention to what the painting's about, but the painting was going to the original heirs because originally the painting was stolen by the Nazis.
Right.
And then the original heirs have been trying to get it back ever since. So so Walter, there I go again. Walter and Team Scorpion pretty much broke the law,
Risked their job.
their job,
Stole
which
the painting.
stole the painting that
Crazy.
was stolen already, to do something really, really nice for this rich lady.
Still
this
against
family.
the law. Like,
Still against the law. So that was weird.
I thought that I was just surprised that was the storyline because they have been on the chopping block every episode so far. It's like, you guys need to get your job locked in before you start pulling moves like that.
Yeah, and usually when they go rogue, things mess up. But here's the case where they kind of go rogue, and things did mess up, but it seemed
All on
almost
purpose.
planned.
Fine, all
It was
is
on
well.
purpose at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah. He says it like everything went like I told
said.
you it would.
Yeah.
So in their mind, it was a perfect plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they just kind of screwed themselves along the way.
And again, the only other thing was well, the doctor's trying to figure out exactly why he cares so much about his team, but you pretty much call it. I mean, the things that
Right.
she told Gallo was, he has empathy for his team. He wants to create a purpose, family, safe haven, and an ability for them to reach their potential. So he really cares. Hetty, however, says, "I see the way you look at her."
Yeah.
So she sees what's going on over there between those two, between Paige and Walter, at least Walter's side of it. So she knows that Walter doesn't care about art, but he cares enough about Paige to do all of this.
Right.
Which, again, I love. Paige is making Walter become a human.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, human, but still he broke the law. I don't know what kind of human.
Yeah, but
which is human.
You're worried
We
about
always break the
Walter
law.
breaking the law. How about the fact that Gabe knows what they did?
yeah.
And he's just going to let it go. And he knows what they did.
Gabe knows he stole the painting.
Yeah. That's why he
Yeah.
was like, so if I have forensics, check the
Oh, yeah,
ashes
real or
on
fake.
the...
Because he was like, I know, he was
He
like,
suspects
things go
it.
wrong, and Gabe's like, things don't
go
go
wrong
wrong
with
with you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not technically with you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
And they just played it off cool, so.
Well, I guess Gallo suspects it. He knows it, I guess. I guess you're right about that in that way. So, really, really cute. And then, of course, we always have to have that final little scene with the bonding with Ralph. We didn't see really Ralph till the
Yeah.
very end.
It's always the same, right?
Yeah.
Is it
It's
just
a
me?
different-
Now that you just
but it's still.
it's always a different ending, of course,
Yeah.
but it's always the same thing. Like all of them doing something
Together.
with Ralph.
They
But-
got to bring the heart into the show.
Yeah, and again, this is another case, kind of like the art. I mean, there were two things that Walter said he didn't like: art and Halloween.
Right.
So he already stole this painting for Paige to give to the rightful owners, and then he dresses up, even though it's just really sunglasses and his suit. He dresses up as Gallo.
Yeah.
He celebrates Halloween with her and her kid. because of her.
And she calls him out on both.
She calls him out on both,
Which is
so
cute.
she knows, but there's still that whole hesitancy, like they're not going to admit it 100%, but she sees what's going on.
He still like employs her.
Yeah.
Like,
There's still that whole
she
boss
does
relationship.
not want to
Yeah.
go back to
Yeah.
that restaurant.
It's still that boss relationship. But yeah, she even says for a guy who says he has no feelings, he sure is sweet. So I think that's really, really cute. So
Yeah.
we definitely getting to see that he's warming up to her, that he's becoming more human. The experiment is succeeding in more ways than one for Walter. And I think it was cute. It was a nice
cute.
little
Yeah,
ending.
it was a good episode.
And then they played that song that Marina just totally dissed at the beginning of the show. But that's
Yeah,
okay.
we didn't
I won't take that personal anymore.
fine.
Any more emphasis on anymore.
That's why we're on separate sides of the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the name of
Monse
the doctor.
lives.
The name of the doctor is Shoreh Agdashlu.
Wow.
Thank you.
I knew it was. I knew it started with an S. I just didn't want to say the name because I knew I'd mess it up.
Thank you.
But thank you so much because that was gonna eat at me. Thank you, Josh. Josh, our producer for this week.
Yay.
Yay! So anyway, I think we pretty much hit about everything
Yeah.
on here. Really cute. I mean, things are
was.
ramping. Things are ramping up. Here's what I like. Things are ramping up with Paige and Walter. Things are ramping up with Toby
Happy
and Happy.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think those are the two big things right
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we got out of this week. And I want to see more Hetty. I know. I kind of want to see more of her. I like that.
I don't think she had a big enough part to come back.
Yeah, I don't think she's
She
not.
doesn't have the time either, obviously.
She's not coming back anytime soon. But it
Yeah.
would be nice to
see her again.
more
Again,
interaction.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's about it. Should we move to predictions?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're gonna have the same prediction.
Yeah, we never know.
Your AfterBuzz TV.
Why don't you go first today?
Marina, you're the queen of predictions.
No,
apparently.
you're gonna go first. I have no idea.
She always gets awkward in her chair. Like,
You know all the predictions.
I have to say,
based on scenes for
I only
next
saw,
week.
I only saw like the ending of the previous. So
what were you doing?
What were you doing?
I may have.
She was
looking.
tweeting.
No, I wasn't tweeting. You can look at my tweet. I wasn't tweeting, but I was looking inside my purse.
Yeah.
For what? What were you gonna find in there?
Lip gloss. I don't know.
She had to get pretty for you guys.
She
Forgive
was
her.
thinking about this show. I can't.
Yeah.
You know what? To be honest, I can't remember about the scenes from next week's episode now. What happened in next
Yeah,
week's episode?
actually, I can't either.
Oh, see, you guys all
They
yelling
were
at
doing
me.
something
I
where
was-
they were in Team Scorpion.
I was getting lip gloss. I was getting lip gloss from Marina.
Me too.
There you go. I was passing it around.
I-
She was
I was-
putting it on us. We just didn't pay
I was
I
attention.
just forgot.
I'm trying to remember.
I just.
It was very quick, so
Yeah.
wasn't able to gather anything.
Yeah,
from
that's
it.
our
Right.
problem.
That's why, like, as soon as I heard it, I looked it up. It was
Okay.
gone.
Because we
Yeah.
don't have this on DVR where we could rewind you guys. That's
Yeah.
not a thing.
No, we don't have that. No, well, we're on a tight schedule here. Well,
Our
well,
10-minute
I
bathroom
said
break.
I predict I want to see more Hetty. So I predict Hetty will be back not in the near future because I think CBS will be smart enough to promote it like they
Okay.
did this time.
Yes.
But I really want to see Hetty back, and maybe they'll bring some more people from NCIS in there too.
Okay. What episode number is next week? 7?
7.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will predict a kiss.
I hope so.
Whoa.
I don't know if it will jump that far.
Yeah.
I'm still.
Just
I really want to just see
She just wanted to get a prediction out.
yeah.
how the relationships and the storylines go once people become romantically involved, because
Yeah.
that's where things always get messy.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna move to romance just yet. I think it's too soon. It's because of the speed
It's
of it.
heating up.
It's going so slow that I don't think it's just all of a sudden gonna jump into it. But we'll see. Marina
I-
does have some good luck.
Yeah,
with
you got the
that.
power lately.
But
I
yeah.
think it can't be that perfectly handled. So
Yeah,
I
totally.
feel like there's going to be another woman coming
Ooh,
in.
somebody to stir stuff up.
Another another person to come in and make a triangle out of both relationships. I could see
Both?
because Toby and Happy. I could see Toby's ex-wife coming
Coming-
because they mentioned her a
That
few
would
times.
be nice. I like
Yeah.
that.
I could see
Yeah.
her coming in because the way they're ramping things up, it feels like it's going to be sooner rather than later that they're
Yeah.
going to
Because
start.
they do keep mentioning it, so it makes.
right.
I
I
feel like
think
she's
the
gonna come back.
ex-wife, and then as far as
Nobody's-
Walter and Paige, did Paige ever say what happened to the father? He just disappeared, or
Oh, I never thought about that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she really said much about him.
Because
but
I
I-
could see him coming back
I don't
eventually.
want anyone getting in the way of my couple.
Yeah.
But it would make sense to throw a wrench in.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think there is going to be a wrench, but I don't think it's going to be a person. I think that
Ooh,
they're going to be.
circumstances.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
with the sun.
he's going to jeopardize a mission because of his feelings for Paige, and then he is going to be like, "I can't do this.
That's great. You
we
win.
can't work together.
Done.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah, we can't work together. Bye, Paige."
For like half of an episode.
Yeah, like it's just gonna, but that's what it's gonna be. So there's gonna be drama because he's gonna mess up, you know.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's all gonna be because he has feelings.
I like it.
He
It's gonna be just like the last ship.
It is.
We had the same situation on last ship.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
Somebody-
speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Somebody
We know it's
jeopardized.
gonna happen.
We know.
a
We've
mission.
covered another
From
show.
TV land experience.
Yep. The watch.
All right, well, I think that pretty much wraps up our show for this week. Where can we find you lovely people during the week
Wow.
when we're not watching Scorpion?
On the internet, of course. You guys can find me on Instagram at Ryland Adams and Twitter at Ryland with an underscore and then Adams.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rina Brazil. That's RinaBrazil.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nandovel, Nandovel. You can also find me here for Walking Dead and Blacklist and Homeland. And you're here for Gotham.
I'm here for Gotham.
Yeah, and hey guys, on iTunes, I didn't mention this, but if you're on iTunes, please rate us and subscribe. You know, we're still a new show, so we have a few people who wrote in from like week 1 or 2, but I'd love to see some more because we can show this off to publicists and we can get some more people here, and we respond to your stuff when you write to YouTube. So please do that. Anyway, till next week, tune in next week and you'll see us all again. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.